welcome you back to ESPN College Basketball. Caitlin Clark put on a show with her passing, her scoring. Number 6 Iowa, an 18-point lead on number 8 Maryland. As we get ready to start the third quarter, Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. Caitlin Clark is just a dynamic star, and she had everything on display in that first half.
Yeah, certainly a savvy basketball player, and knowing where to go and how to deliver the basketball to teammates. Here she goes away. She knows Maryland is switching screens, so what does she do? She just cuts, goes right to the basket for an easy 2. As soon as she collects the basketball on the board, her eyes are up, and her teammates know she will find them. One dribble, beautifully delivered dime, 2 total dribbles between the Iowa players going from end to end, and then setting up behind the defense just about 31 feet, but makes herself available so her teammate can find her, then hits the tough shot and gets the and one.
Clark with 24 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. 1 point shy of her 13, 25, 5, and 5 game. Also had a huge first half from Monica Czinano, who had 18 points on 9 of 11 shooting. The 2 2,000-point scorers who lead the way. Oh, what a pass! What a pass. Clark, Warnock, Czinano, another easy 2. How does Maryland adjust? Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Brenda Frese said that her team has to get back in this game starting on defense. She said this is not what we are typically looking like on defense, particularly in transition. This is a team that averages 10 steals a game, is a good defensive team. But she said, you know, you wouldn't know it from watching us in the first half. They're going to turn it up, get the tempo going. She said, we've got to pay better attention to the scattering report. Their big 2 are really hurting us right now.
Yeah, they have just put up monster numbers. In that second quarter, Iowa had 11 assists on their 11 made field goals. Czinano and Clark combined for 25 of their 27 points as Clark takes a spill. You see 13 assists on the last 13 made field goals for Iowa.
And Ryan, you and I were talking about it at the half. You know, Maryland was absolutely respectable, 38 points in the first half. That's just under their average. They averaged 36 points in the first half. It's certainly just been on the defensive end of the floor. No answer for Iowa.
Here's Clark. She'll fire. Not that time. Clark now 5 of 8 from 3. Good movement here. Miller gets the whistle on Czinano, and Diamond Miller will shoot 2.
And you have to get stops so that you can push out in transition, which is just what we saw from Maryland. They didn't get enough stops in the first half to get it into a transition game where they can be dangerous from 3, where they can attack and try to get to the rim.
Brenda Frese talked about how enjoyable this group has been and how there was a little bit of a re-recruiting that needed to be done with Diamond Miller when she saw so many of her key teammates leave this offseason. But when we talked about it with Diamond, she said, look, if I left, I was going to have to go play with new players anyway. Might as well play it here, where she loves being a part of Maryland and where she has had an incredibly decorated career. Looking to follow a really strong lineage of outstanding pros. Meanwhile, another turnover. Sellers bounces ahead. Pinzan lays it in. And Maryland trying to get a little something cooking now.
Yeah, Brenda Frese has to be thrilled with the last 2 defensive possessions by her team. Great energy and hustle.
5 straight from Maryland. Marshall puts it on the deck. Czinano, wow. The efficiency is off the charts. 11 of 13, she has 22.
And the way she has extended her range, used to just be right around the basket, now out to 7 to 10 feet.
Osonis did a great job keeping that alive. Another chance here. That 3 won't go for Pinzan. Sellers after it, and it's out of bounds to Iowa. Maryland now 1 of 11 from 3.
Monica Czinano stepping out to the short corner as soon as her teammate starts to drive, and just beautiful looking shot.
Holly?
And that has come about at a real price. You see that heavy tape on her right wrist. She was in a severe ATV accident in high school where she broke her leg, broke her arm. She was really questionable if she would even be able to come back and play basketball at all. But here she is. She still wraps that wrist. She's continued to elevate that shot, and she's been shooting 70% in the last 5 games, guys. She is really on fire, and it's come at a hard price after that tragic accident.
Led the nation in field goal percentage the last 2 years, Hal. Another turnover. Maryland getting out in transition. Clark applies the foul. That is her second. 10 turnovers now for Iowa. And this is a little more of what you might have expected from Maryland's D.
Maryland has had success this year because of their disruptiveness on defense. As you see another look at Caitlin Clark's foul. They're not a team with a lot of size, but they have length and they're athletic, and that's how they've been able to manufacture some of their points, turning defense to offense. We've seen it here early here in the third quarter.
Pinson working against the Iowa zone. Miller into the teeth of it, dumps it underneath. Myers, good feed, and Missonis uses the window.
And again, it allows them to extend, set up their defense. Even if they're not getting steals, it takes time off the shot clock for Iowa.
Czinano, what a deep seal in the finish. Caitlin Clark was raving to us before the game about the early work Czinano does to get that position.
Just can overpower most smaller defenders.
She has the last 10 Iowa points. Sellers to the corner, Myers. No, it has been a cold night thus far for Abby Myers, as Missonis doing all the little things for Maryland, her 7th rebound.
Maryland, a team that typically doesn't out-rebound their opponents just because of the size disadvantage we talked about earlier, but they have been able to out-rebound Iowa today.
Just 1 of 12 from 3, though, and Myers is 2 of 12 from the floor. Czinano tried to get it into Stuelke. It's stolen by Maryland. Miller in transition. What a Euro! Diamond Miller shimmering to the cup. Crowd trying to urge on their Iowa Hawkeyes as Maryland finds a little rhythm in this third quarter. Down 20 a couple moments ago. It's now 13, and another Iowa turnover.
Diamond Miller is so explosive and good when she gets out in the open floor, raises her right hand, get me the basketball, and then just finishes with the Euro. Beautifully done. And in the first half, how often did we see Iowa getting out in transition? They were getting stops and able to run. They haven't been able to do that here. It's been a reversal between their stops and what they were getting in the first half.
And already 4 turnovers for Iowa in this quarter. Miller, the crossover, the lay is good, plus the foul. Diamond Miller fired up.
And it certainly helps Maryland to have Diamond Miller on the floor. Limited minutes in the first half because of foul trouble. She said, if I think I can blow by you, I'm going to blow by you. And we've seen that a couple times now.
Holly?
Well, obviously, Diamond Miller has a great future ahead of her in basketball. We've talked to her about the WNBA, and she hasn't made her decision quite yet, she said, but she's trying to stay in the present day. She said, I know I have a lot of options, but I just want to focus on where I'm at right now. She does watch DeWanna Bonner, though, a tall, slender player, and think, man, I look a lot like her. There are people that underestimate me because I'm thin, but I've got handles like that. I'm better on the drive, and I can blow by people, as you mentioned before. She's got a bright future in the W, and there's some scouts here in the building watching her.
Yeah, I'm sure they're liking what they're seeing in this third. Clark to the bench, timeout taken by Iowa, and Maryland has cut a 20-point deficit down to 10. Big time third thus far. Black history always here on ESPN, and in Iowa, we admire and honor C. Vivian Stringer, the Iowa coach from 1983 to 1995, led them to their only Final Four appearance in 1993. A 3-time Coach of the Year, of course, took Rutgers to 2 Final Fours as well. Cheney State before her stop in Iowa. Yeah, a whole lot of winning here in Iowa done thanks to C. Vivian Stringer. As Maryland comes up with a steal, and then Clark takes it right back. Here's Clark in transition, misses the layup, And Maryland controls. Holly. Sellers can hit the 3, and Clark with the rebound. Clark gets fouled and banks it in. A chance for 3 for Caitlin Clark. Clark's first bucket of the second half came at a time when Iowa really needed it.
Maryland had cut this game to 10, and then Clark said, I'm going to get it back to 12 and maybe 13.
Caitlin Clark putting an end to a 7-0 Maryland run. Now has her 13th game this season of at least 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. By far and away the most in Division I basketball, as you can see. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Lisa Bluder was very positive in the huddle just now. She was like, good job, Hawks, but they've gone on their run. Now it's time to go on ours. She made some adjustments to the offense that they're running, and then she made sure to remind them that Diamond Miller is playing with 3 fouls. She said, number 1's got 3. Let's drive right at her, try to get her to pick up her 4th.
And Iowa has played efficiently in terms of their shooting here in the third quarter. They're 4 of 6. Turnovers have been their problem. 5 turnovers so far in this quarter.
Pinson, a little too strong on the jumper, and Martin able to wrestle away the rebound. Maryland's done some damage on the offensive glass tonight, which they haven't this year. There it is, number 4 on Diamond Miller, and a chance for 3 for Hannah Stuelke. Message received.
Coaches have to love when it translates from the huddle onto the floor. Caitlin Clark knew who Diamond Miller was guarding, got it right to Stuelke. Strong, good finish, and the foul on Miller as well.
So Diamond Miller, who's been excellent in this third, now has to go to the bench with 4 fouls. 4 straight points from Iowa after Maryland had cut it to 10 and had the ball. Knocked away by Stuelke. Here comes Clark, pushing pace. Clark left alone, thought about it. The window closed quickly. Davis in the corner. Off on a 3, and at last hit Iowa. Half the afternoon with the Big Ten matchup between Taylor Mikesell and number 10 Ohio State facing Diamond Miller and Maryland.
LSU down 1 with under a minute to go right now to Georgia, but don't turn the channel.
Sellers gets called for the offensive foul as Molly Davis took it in the chin.
Cheyenne Sellers trying to attack off the bounce. Oh, she sure did. It's just like a reaction your body makes, you and I.
Yeah.
When somebody gets hit hard.
Oh, Davis lost the headband and couldn't hit the floater. Will she pick up the headband on the way back? She will not.
The official will.
Yeah, you're right. Myers gets fouled, and Abby Myers has had a tough shooting night. We'll go to the line to shoot 2. 26, 6, and 6 for Caitlin Clark. Triple-double watch is on. A little hoop scoop on Abby Myers.
Give me the scoop.
Yeah, took a gap year her sophomore year to visit South America.
COVID year.
That's right. Princeton transfer. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
It's something you don't often see athletes do because there's just such an expected inertia with the collegiate career of an athlete.
Well, there is no inertia with Abby Myers. You can see there, she is a hiker, a nature person. She gets out into nature. That's one of the reasons she went on that gap year. But guys, more importantly, she wasn't good enough when Maryland looked at her in high school. She ended up going to Princeton, and she is playing for this team and doing very well because Brenda said she worked on her game. Here she is playing at a higher level. So she put her mind to it and decided to be good enough to play for the Maryland Terrapins.
She has been so important, as you see her here, driving to the basket. So important to what they do offensively because of that. She can take it off the bounce. She can hit 3s. She's got a good mid-range. She has been quiet so far in this game, but starting to heat up.
Myers now with 5 in the quarter on these last couple possessions. Clark surveying, firing, and hitting. Yeah, we know that look. 29 for Clark, her 6'3". Briggs, no. Ahead to Clark. The flick, the catch, the finish. Timeout, Maryland. Lead back to 16 for Iowa.
Crowd on their feet because of this young woman, Caitlin Clark, with the deep three and then the shrug to the crowd, and again, the pass ahead to Stuelke as she's running the floor.
Stuelke is now 5 of 5 from the floor. You know, Rebecca, that moment reminded me of something Coach Bluder talked to us about, because we talked with her about the freedom Clark has to shoot logo threes. And she said, you know, we talk about time and score and trying to be a little more selective at times with it. But she said when she hits those threes, they do damage to the other team. She said you don't want to put the bushel over the candle, because that's some of what makes her great. Said you could just feel the other team just drop down dejected when she hits shots like that.
How about whether it's Coach Bluder or her teammates, all of the fire analogies.
That's
Don't
right.
put the bushel over the candle. She lights a fire under all of us.
Incendiary language.
Transition starts by getting the defensive board, and as soon as the shot goes up, box out everybody on the Iowa team. It's a clinic. Boxes out, the ball hits the floor. They're able to corral it and then pass it ahead for the layup.
19 assists on the last 20 made field goals for Iowa. That's an area they've really improved this year, the defensive rebounding. Big time improvement. Clark, not that time. Now running back on D. Three is just not dropping. Alexander couldn't get it to go. Clark, the rebound. Stuelke running. She gets fouled. You're going to see a whole lot of that next year as well. Clark already has found a favorite in the freshman, Hannah Stuelke.
This young freshman has impressed me so much. She's been impressive on film, but even more impressive in person. Check this out, Ryan. Fixes her hair before she catches the basketball. In full stride. The long ponytail was in the front, needed to be in the back. No problem.
You know, Caitlin Clark was talking about Stuelke the other day and said, I think Hannah doesn't know how good she can be. Everybody on our team does. Once she realizes it, look out.
I realize it.
I realize it too.
Yeah, I know. I know you do.
And you wonder if her emergence and her minutes growing changes the fortunes of Iowa's season. Myers knocks down the three, been a strong third quarter for Abby Myers. 15 points now for Myers, 8 in the frame. Here's Clark. Slight difference game in shot clock. Shot a look, hoping there'd be a whistle there on the contact. Iowa is in the bonus. Here's Clark, makes her move, looks off the pass, and we're going to say that stays with Clark. Looked like it last hit her.
Yeah, it did.
3.6 to shoot. Czinano back in for this offensive possession. 1 second difference game in shot clock. Clark will inbound it. Finds Czinano, can't finish it. Loose ball. Myers the chuck. She got a lot on that from how she had to heave it. That'll do it for the third. Maryland made a push. Caitlin Clark and Iowa responded. A 14-point lead for the number 6 team in the nation as we get ready for the fourth. 29 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and a whole lot of fire for Caitlin Clark. Oh yeah, it's been a big night.